Ah, some sunshine out there today. That's nice to see. Hey, a little chilly though. Dress up nice and warm. I mean, it's November, and November happens to be Adoption Awareness Month. Jon Daily is here this morning. Jon, welcome to the show. Good to have you here, man.
Thanks. Good to be here.
You have an interesting story. You're not the typical adoptee.
No.
Because I guess when people think of adopting children, they think of babies mostly,
Yes.
or younger kids, right? You, unfortunately, were in a situation where you were adopted well into your, what, were you a teenager?
I was 16.
16 by the time it happened.
Yep.
Because at 9, unfortunately, you were the only survivor of a car crash that killed your family,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So how did it end up that, what happened between 9 and 16?
So after the accident, I went to live with my mom's cousins.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out. I was there for about a year and a half. After that, I went back to another foster home, quite large, so it wasn't compatible with me. There was 4 children there, adopted or foster children, and 3 of their own kids. So that didn't work out. I was there for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I came to live with another foster parent. That was supposed to just be temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Temporary turned into the end of the school year. The end of the school year turned into the end of the year.
Right.
And by that time, I knew that this was the right fit for me. And I'd asked my social worker if I could stay forever.
Yeah. And that's where you are now, or that's where you were?
That's where I've been ever since I was 11.
What's it like bouncing and officially adopted at 16?
Officially adopted at 16.
What's it like bouncing around for those years as a young fella of 9, 10, 11 years old?
It's difficult. You don't get that sense of being anchored to one place. You're constantly having to make new friends, new schools, getting used to a new family, new rules.
Plus, you just want to belong, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere.
Yep.
I mean, you had a bad thing happen to you.
Yeah.
So you just want to be part of something somewhere solid.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up okay for you, eh?
It ended up okay. I mean, I was concerned. I was approaching 16, and 2 years later, I would have aged out of the system. So I know that was a big concern of mine. If you age out of the system, it's different. You don't get that support anymore. There's no sense of belonging. That's my feeling.
Was the system helpful to you, the agencies and so on that you had to deal with?
They were supportive in my decision.
Yeah.
I was the one who started talking about adoption. And they were very supportive about that.
Yeah. So you find your place at about 11 years old.
Yes.
Right? Basically where you wanted to be. You finally get officially adopted at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Did that official adoption have an impact on you? Was it something you wanted to see happen?
It did. For the first time since the accident, since I left my parents, I felt like I had a place to belong, a place that I could call home, and a place that I knew that would be there for support when I needed it.
Yeah. So it did, just that official sort of ceremonial.
It did, yeah. I mean, it's a piece of paper, but it holds so much weight.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Nowadays, you're doing pretty good. You were interested in aviation, so what are you doing now?
I have my pilot's license.
Yes.
So I earned my private license back in 2008. And
which is really cool to do.
It's fun. It's a blast. I love it.
With in a little plane like a Cessna?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And you have your commercial pilot's license?
I do.
Your instructor rating?
Yes.
So you're doing just fine.
I am.
What about, are there lots of kids like you who need to be, or are looking to be adopted at an older age?
There are.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the numbers exactly.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for them because not as many people want to adopt them. A lot of people look at older children as problems.
I can't imagine what that makes you feel like, you know, because you're sitting there for years.
Yeah.
We're not talking waiting months or weeks or something. We're talking about years. Did you find yourself waiting?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a difficult thing for a young person to go through.
Because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I've left so many families. One of the constant fears in the back of my mind was that my adoptive parent or my foster parent at the time, I guess, was going to leave. I was going to have to find a new home.
Again,
yeah.
and again, and again. So we got to wrap things up, but I know your message is this, that when people are thinking about adopting, or maybe, you know, their kids have left home and gone on and so on, there are teenagers, there are, you know, 11, 12, 13-year-olds out there that could really use a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to consider when you when you look at this. You can get more information, by the way, at casott.on.ca. Children's Aid Society will help you out too. Jon, thanks a lot, man. I'll tell you what, I hope I step into a plane someday that you're flying.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks
Good
for having
sharing
me.
your story.